Our next story is out of D.C., where Capitol Police and the federal government are prepping for a far-right rally tomorrow in support of those arrested on January 6th. According to a report obtained by the New York Times, intelligence officials are concerned that the rally could turn violent. In that report, a Homeland Security official wrote, quote, "We are aware of a small number of recent online threats of violence referencing the planned rally. Officials expect around 700 people to attend. The National Guard will deploy 100 troops at the D.C. Armory near the Capitol after Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin approved a request for assistance. 140 officers were injured during the January 6th attacks. 4 have since died by suicide." I'm excited about my next guest, who's anchoring a new show premiering Monday on BNC, Amplified with Aisha Mills. Aisha, hey.
Hey, it's so good to be with you.
Listen, I am so glad to have you on to talk about your new show, but since I've got you here, I'd like to first get your thoughts on tomorrow's events at the Capitol. People are concerned about tomorrow's events because it specifically is in support of those involved in the January 6th insurrection, and there's already been, threats of violence made. Now, could we be facing an attack of the same scale as January 6th?
Yodit, I've been following this too, and the only reason that I am not feeling as anxious, perhaps, as the Capitol Hill police officers who are down there trying to guard the place, is because I don't think that these folks are that stupid. They watched how all their little Instagram posts and their Facebook posts like went viral, and how everybody got arrested because they didn't think before they came the first time. Now what you're also seeing is Trump and others saying, hey, this is probably a setup. Don't actually attend. Don't actually attend. So I think that the people who are planning it surely want to disrupt, right? And in their chat rooms, they're saying if you're gonna go out for something, right? And we see some of the chats going around saying actually do violence, do harm if you're gonna get arrested. But for the most part, Republicans are staying clear of this. Even crazy Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is like the most extreme of them all, is winking and nodding and trying to, support the people who are throwing this, but ain't going nowhere near it. So my guess is gonna be it's gonna kind of burn and fizzle. 700 people isn't that many. I would be shocked if that many people showed up. Let's just knock on wood and hope they don't.
Well, how significant is former President Trump's support for the event?
What's interesting about Trump, as much as we all want him to go away, right, and to be completely irrelevant and just not matter ever again, he has said, he's telling people that this is probably just going to be a way to jam them up and saying that the feds are out to get you. Don't go. His influence, though, within the Republican Party is still so dominating, especially in primaries. And so what he's able to do is really move this right-wing fringe part of his base to support or to not support people who are running for office. And so whenever he speaks out, whether it be about this particular rally, what he's doing is he's really dog whistling, or actually speaking directly to his people, saying, you support people that I say support and actions that I say support, and if anybody is stepping out of line with regards to that, we're going to take them out. So he's kind of getting all of his foot soldiers in line, I think, to wage some really ugly Republican primaries, and we are already seeing that play out with some of the Republicans who voted to impeach him after this January 6th situation. So Trump's influence, unfortunately, he's got a real hold on the fringe wing of the party, I'll call it. I think the whole party has gone way, way, way right, but he's got a hold on him. And anytime he has something to say, I think it's detrimental to us all.
Well, speaking of the party, you talked about the Republicans trying to distance themselves from this event and trying to shift what occurred on January 6th by talking about things like voters' rights. Will this tactic actually work?
Hold up. What is the difference in voters' rights and voting rights, right? Because they ain't here for voting rights. But these people are just so, I can't even deal with them. Here's the deal. January 6th was a PR nightmare for Republicans. All those people who claim that that didn't want to validate the election results, who were up on the Hill trying to vote to say that Donald Trump really should have been president, they thought that they were these righteous warriors, and then January 6th happened and 5 people are dead. and all these people got arrested. And so it has been a horrible PR nightmare for them, and they know this, and they are trying to change the narrative. They're now trying to act like Ashley Babbitt was some kind of martyr when she was up there trying to kill people, right? And they're trying to make this comparison to Black Lives Matter or George Floyd uprisings in the streets, when in fact the way that the January 6 people got off, by the way, they might have arrested, you know, a bunch of people, but 70% of those folks got to go back home that were arrested, back into their communities.
Right.
And even though people are being charged, so far they're kind of being slapped on the wrist. I think that the harshest sentence, they're going from probation to like 8 months in jail, which really isn't much for 5 people to be dead, in my humble opinion. I'm not a lawyer, I know you are. So they're trying to change this narrative to make it seem like these people are being treated more harshly than, you know, they treat the black people in the streets. I mean, the whole thing is really an okey-doke kind of looky-loo PR debacle that they're trying to like figure out. And so I don't think that we should listen to anything they have to say.
Well, Aisha, speaking of BLM and the stark contrast in the way that police responded to the January 6th insurrection as opposed to the Black Lives Matter protest last summer, do you think we'll see more of the same tomorrow?
Ooh, girl. I mean, they were out there patting them on the back, opening up the doors for them, taking selfies, right?
Taking selfies.
I don't think taking selfies, right? No, we ain't gonna see that go down. But to that point you just made, they're erecting a fence. They're putting up another fence. When black people and our allies are literally crying in despair in the streets trying to be heard because our blood is in the street, because there are black bodies that are being, you know, beaten down and harassed, they're sending SWAT teams after us. They are in riot gear. They are sending militarized vehicles into our neighborhoods, into our communities. So, in terms of the reaction and the response and how they're preparing for these crazy white nationalists, no, it ain't the same. And it's still not being met, I believe, with the same vigor and force that it deserves, and they're certainly not treating these people the way they treat us.
All right, enough talk about these crazies. Let's talk about your brand new show, Amplified. It's premiering on BNC on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, now tell us what viewers can expect to see, and how is Amplified different from mainstream political shows?
Well, here's what we're going to try to do. You know, there's so much hot messery going on in the world, right? We are actually going to try to have a little bit of fun, and more importantly, I want black and brown people to know that we are the growing majority in this country. We are the power source. We will outnumber white people, and our political power should flow with our demographic representation. And so I want us to talk about politics and advocacy through the lens of our own agency, our ability to change political, you know, conversations, our ability to change election outcomes, and certainly for us to drive a policy initiative that is meaningful for our community. So we're going to have fun, we're going to be positive, we're going to be hopeful, along with understanding how we got here and where we've been and why it matters. We're definitely going to talk about where we're going from here. How we're going to do that is, you know, we're going to amplify politicos and activists and advocates and policymakers who are doing the work. Some of them you will know, they'll be household names. Some of them you won't. We want to talk to, you know, people who are behind the scenes as well as people who are in front of, you know, the cameras all the time to understand how this country works and what we should do to disrupt the way that, you know, it's not working on behalf of all us. So it should be fun. We should have a cool crew come through. We're going to have you come through too, of course.
Hey, I'm always down. Now, before I let you go, though, Aisha, can you give us just a sneak peek of some of those guests you're referencing and who will come on next week?
You know, everybody keeps asking me this, and I'm telling you, you got to just watch. But I will say this, we will have more than one. We will have several elected officials. We will also have some celebrities. We will have some movement leaders that you all know. And then we'll probably hear from some mamas behind the scenes that you don't. So it's going to be a good mix of people. It'll be interesting and fun. Tune in, see what we're covering.
You could have given me some initials or something. I mean, just a little bit, but I get it. We're all going to be watching, I promise. I'm so excited for you. Aisha Mills, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember, Amplified with Aisha Mills premiering this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. From social justice to voting rights, Aisha amplifies the messages, the stories, and the voices that are muted by other media outlets. Only on BNC. More Making the Case after this.